Coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show, we'll profile one of the big surprises of this early season, the Palmetto Panthers. We'll also be taking a look at Belen Jesuit and the Jackson Generals. Troy Drayton has all the recruiting news as he takes a look at the top wide receivers, and we'll preview all of the big games for next weekend. That and much more right here on the South Florida High School Football Show. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr., as we come to you from the Regal Entertainment Group Theaters in Plantation, where we are more than just a movie. And we are getting more and more into the high school football season. These games are really getting good.
They're getting competitive, Joe. You're seeing the cream starting to rise to the top, and more importantly, you're seeing improvement.
And we've had some surprise teams as well, Don Bailey. Let's begin in Miami-Dade County. This is a big surprise. Palmetto got off to a 3-0 start. Now, they had a big game this past weekend against South Dade, but Palmetto 3-0. It took them 6 weeks a year ago to win their first 2 games.
And they only won 3 for the whole year last year, but I love the way that they're doing it. They're being impactful on defense. They're sturdy at the line of scrimmage. Their linebackers chase the ball well. They're not getting taken advantage of in a passing game. The amount of defense that they're playing right now can carry them farther than they ever thought they would go.
Mike Monasco is the head coach there. He's doing a really good job building this program. You mentioned that defense. They're allowing 2 points a game going into this weekend's game against South Dade. I've never heard of such a thing, 2 points a game.
Let's just hope something similar carries on through the rest of the season. Now, we all know that 2 points a game is an abbreviation, but it's going to, as long as you keep playing it, and they're going to be building confidence. That's the thing that you have to understand. Palmetto last year wins 2 football games. They're already at 3 now. And the more that they win, the more confidence they're going to have in the system, the defense, the process, and the coach.
They have a nice running back named Sharon Jackson, and they are running the football. A couple of weeks ago against Braddock, they ran for a ton of yards, 366 yards. So if you're playing good defense and you can run the ball for a program like this, that will give them a fighting chance.
It certainly will, and it's really kind of an old school package. You win with defense, you win championships with defense, you run the football, you keep your penalty count low, you avoid the turnovers, and you chew up clock. They're very hard to beat if they keep playing that kind of defense and running the ball with the efficiency that they do.
Palmetto has always had a strong tradition. Now the administration is getting behind the program, so those are good things, and they're trying to restore some of that old Palmetto pride. There was a day in this town when Palmetto and Killian played. That was the big one.
That was one of the biggest draws in the south part of the county. And if Palmetto gets back on track, it will go back to being one of the bigger draws in the south.
All right, let's stay in Miami-Dade County. Belen, they are doing a great job once again. Rich Stewart is the head coach there. They're in a tough district. They went 8-4 last year, made the regional semifinals, but this team always runs the football, and they're always very, very sound.
He's an old wing tee guy. He just likes the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He understands the importance of having time of possession on every single drive. He understands that the team with the least amount of penalties is usually put in a position to win. He wants to control his turnovers, but more importantly, they are well coached throughout the entire ball game, meaning offense, defense, and special teams, and they have always been consistently good.
This is hard to believe, but Rich Stewart is the longest tenured coach in Miami-Dade County, so when you have that going on, when you have that kind of stability, you're going to have a good program.
Here's what happens is when you have that stability, you have the weight room in place, and you have the expectations that go with that. You have the support group in place and the expectations. Everyone knows their job and what they're supposed to do. And then the players that come in are mentored on how we want it done here. This is how we want it done here. We don't know what happened there. We don't care what happens over here, but this is the way we do it, and it's produced success.
Belen lost their first game of the year to Chaminade. Probably want to shore up their run defense a little bit. They've got a big one coming up. This is always a big clash in Miami-Dade. They're going to play Columbus next week. That'll be a huge game.
It's a big game. The fans love it. The two teams love it. It goes down to a rivalry type of game. And more importantly, everybody's going to be out there to support their team.
All right, let's stay in Dade County. The Jackson Generals, they are coached by Earl Little, and they are trending in the right direction, although they are in a brutal district.
Yep, Earl's doing a phenomenal job there. He's taken his NFL skills and his college skills and he's translating it to the high school level, and that's very difficult to do. It's fun to have all that experience, but you've got to relay it to the young student athlete, and that's what he's able to do. He understands defense because that's what he played when he was in college, but more importantly, he understands how to run a team, and Jackson is getting better and better.
They have a quarterback in Desmond Phillips, and he's a leader, but he's also a guy that understands how to break down a defense. So when you have a quarterback that can break down a defense, then you've got something special.
Well, what's nice about him is he doesn't jeopardize his team by making foolish mistakes. He understands his reads, he understands when he's supposed to pull it down and run, he understands about when to make the proper throw and also when to throw it away.
They've got a deal with Hollandale, American Heritage, Gibbons, and Coconut Creek. They had a good warm-up a couple of weeks ago. They took apart Booker T, so that's a game that should give them confidence.
I agree with you. You know, Booker T is not what Booker T was because of the amount of players that they've lost, and they have had a coaching change. And listen, the game one of the year against St. Thomas, they were dismantled. But when you beat Booker T, no matter who you are and no matter what position they're in, that is a marquee victory that should build your confidence.
I mentioned Desmond Phillips is averaging over 7 yards a carry, but going back to that schedule in that district, can you survive? They're going to have to build some depth.
Well, listen, the strong are going to survive, and you bring up an excellent point. I think when you're in a district of that nature, the healthiest team at the end of the season is the team that's going to have a chance because everybody starts to cannibalize each other, everybody starts getting hurt, they beat each other up, and now at the end of the day, it's the healthy team that's playing the best football at that time.
All right, keep an eye on those three teams as the season unfolds. Of course, another great weekend of high school football here in South Florida. Let's check out some of the highlights.
Thanks, Joe and Don. I'm Stefano Fusaro. We got some highlights from earlier in the week, so let's go. We start with two Thursday night games. First one at the Traz. Doral Academy facing Westland Hialeah. This one was all Doral. Nick Delgado will run by you to the end zone 20 yards for the touchdown, and they beat Westland Hialeah 55-0. Down the way at Mylander Stadium, North Miami taking on Hialeah. The Pioneers were up by 1 in the third quarter, but that ended with Lynn Bryant broke through for this long touchdown run. The T-Reds go on to win 32-20. And on Friday night, St. Thomas was hosting Cypress Bay, and this one was all special teams. St. Thomas would block 2 punts and return them for touchdowns. The first one was scored by Grayson Crozier, the second by Adetutu Daraniho. St. Thomas has no problems with Cypress Bay. They win 45-10. Chaminade is hosting Everglades in an early afternoon matchup on Friday. Just look at the moves by sophomore Xavier Williams. Fighting for great field position, and the Lions would take advantage. Cole Steely finds Trevor Taylor for this score, and Chaminade takes care of Everglades 45-6. American Heritage playing host to Coconut Creek, and who says quarterbacks can't run the ball? Jason Brown, the junior, takes this one on his own, and if he can trick the camera once, he'll do it again. Brown with his second score of the night. Heritage rolls 41-20.
The South Florida High School Football Show is sponsored by the Miami Dolphins, Metro PCS, U.S. Army, Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, Tico Peoples Gas, Adidas, and Regal Cinemas.
The following are real customer testimonials.
I'm Lena from Pinecrest. I love my Buick Enclave from Vera Buick. I've bought 2 cars at Vera and I got the best price and they treat me just like family.
Somos Gina y Roy del Doral. Hemos comprado 4 Cadillacs en Vera, donde recibimos el trato familiar sin mencionar el mejor precio en el sur de la Florida.
Our customers said it all. Experience the Vera difference at Vera Cadillac Buick GMC Pembroke Pines. Vera is 4 miles north of Sun Life Stadium.
Bro, just watch what I do.
This the game that chose us. Pioneers started at
24. Bet he don't do it.
Sliding up the block.
See that, Jimmy?
When was the moment you knew you were a Dolphins fan? It's being able to say, I've been a fan since perfection.
Completed the greatest
since my very first game. Since right now. Each one of us has our since moment. What's yours?
The South Florida High School Football Show's recruiting segment is sponsored by Metro PCS. Wireless for all.
The South Florida High School Football Show continues now. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. as we come to you from the Regal Entertainment Group Theater in Plantation. We are right between Pine Island Road and University Drive, and it's a spectacular movie theater. Of course, Don has all the popcorn, so he's ready for the next great matinee.
The popcorn's delicious, but the movies are better.
Okay, well, you know what you can watch in some of these movies? Wide receivers, because there are plenty of them in South Florida. This is our recruiting segment, and the wide receivers, everybody wants to be a wide receiver today, Don. A couple of years ago, if you were 6'4", 220 pounds, you were an outside linebacker. Now you're a wide receiver.
It's amazing how the size has changed at that position. Now, this is a counties that have produced the Santana and the Sonoras Mosses, where there's been first-round draft picks of receiver from Dade and Broward County throughout the years. But all of a sudden, now the receiver has grown up. They're looking, like you mentioned, Joe, 6 feet to 6'5". That's the ideal height. I'm still a believer that if a guy is in today's world undersized, 5'9", 5'10", and he can run and he has precise routes and he does exactly what Joe Zagacki likes best, catches the football, there's a place for him. So I'm not a big believer that you have to fit a certain mold at that position as far as height and weight goes. I do believe that you have to have a certain speed. I do believe that you have to catch the football. But the question is now, how good are you at running your routes? With the evolution of 7-on-7, the improved quarterback play in South Florida, and now the more repetition that these receivers are getting each week of the year, not just during football season or not just during spring, but throughout the whole year, they are running routes and working on getting better. I believe that this position in South Florida has turned into a marquee spot.
And everybody's in the shotgun, and everybody's spreading the field, and everybody is throwing the football. And kids like to score touchdowns.
They love it, and the touches now are almost equaling in some offenses to that of a running back. Now, the difference from the receiver and the running back is the receiver doesn't like to get hit as much as the running back does. The running backs, they'll take their shots, but the receivers are enjoying the success, but they're honing their skills, and I believe you're going to see more and more talent being searched out in South Florida at that position than you have in past years.
In fact, I think when he played, or if he played today, Troy Drayton, our recruiting expert, would be a wide receiver rather than a tight end. At any rate, he's going to break them all down, including Deontay Mullins, who's one of the top receivers in South Florida. Deontay not playing right now. He's at Gulliver, and he's been sidelined for a variety of reasons. He's committed to the University of Miami, an outstanding player. Hopefully he gets back on the field sometime soon. But Troy Drayton will have all the information on all the wide receivers as we dial them up on our Metro PCS LG Optimus F6. Nice, isn't it? Beautiful. Sweet. All right, Troy, what do you have on the wide receivers?
Thanks, Joe and Don. This phone is outstanding, just like our next recruits, the wide receivers. South Florida has some of the best athletes in the country, and I'm here to tell you about 3 of them. Our first receiver is Dante Mullins of Gulliver Prep, coached by Earl Simmons. Dante is 5'10", 179 pounds. He's a 4-star recruit. He has excellent ball skills. He's 100% pledged to University of Miami, despite the strong push by the University of Alabama. He's a 4-year starter and also a 2-way starter, playing wide receiver and cornerback. Our second receiver is Darnell Solomon of Miami Central High School, coached by the great Roland Smith. Darnell is 6'3", 198 pounds. He's received dozens of offers from the likes of Alabama, Florida, Florida State, LSU, and Miami. He has 4.4 speed and great ability to not only go over players, but go around players. And the last receiver is Freddie Pender from Miami Southridge High School, coached by Billy Rowe. Freddie is 6'5", 195 pounds. He's a 4-star recruit. He's very fluid. In March, at the IMG 7-on-7, he tore the defenses apart over the middle of the field, scoring 7 impressive touchdowns. He's a 2-year starter, and all they say is throw it up to him and he'll go get it. Back to you guys. Hey, this is 3 great receivers that we hope to not only see play on Saturdays, but play on Sundays. What an outstanding class, and we hope to see you guys next week.
All right, Troy, thank you very much. And next week, right in your wheelhouse, offensive lineman. Now, our producer and photographer said we're going to talk about the big uglies. Now, that's not fair.
They might all be big now, but they're not all ugly, believe me.
So we'll talk offensive linemen next week as we continue on the South Florida High School Football Show.
Tico Peoples Gas is awarding the 7th Annual Player of the Year Awards to a player in Miami-Dade and a player in Broward County. Fans can nominate a player by logging on to southfloridahighschoolfootball.com. Click on the Tico Player of the Year icon. Nominations are open until November 30th. After November 30th, revisit the site and vote for the finalist. The players receive a beautiful crystal trophy and their school receives a $500 donation. Tune in to our National Signing Day TV show on February the 3rd, where the winners are announced. This Dolphin Players Flashback is sponsored by the Miami Dolphins.
Hi, my name is Cedric Thompson Jr. I'm a safety for the Miami Dolphins, and I went to Cal Patriot High School. We were a pretty good team at the end of my last couple of years being there. My first year, I think we won like 2 games. And I think my best high school memory was my junior year. We won the Axe game. We beat a team called Hopeville. It was led by my coach, David Shaw. The Axe game, it was a really close game. Every year it's a close game, and it came down to the wire. And I ended up scoring a winning touchdown in the last couple seconds of the drive, and I brought the Axe home for the first time. And the Axe game wasn't played for, I think, about 20 years until my junior year. So we had brought it back, and we brought it back with a win. And the advice I would give to somebody in high school right now is just to really stick to your grades, because that's ultimately what's going to matter for you to go to college.
Vera Cadillac Buick GMC is awarding the Teacher of the Year awards to a teacher in Miami-Dade and a teacher in Broward County. Fans can nominate a teacher by logging on to southfloridahighschoolfootball.com. Click on the Vera Teacher of the Year icon. Nominations are open until December 30th. The teachers will receive a beautiful crystal trophy and a 6-month lease from Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, and their school receives a $2,000 donation. Tune in to our National Signing Day TV show on February 3rd, where the winners will be announced.
You know why I brought you here today? Metro gives you unlimited data, talk, and text, taxes and fees included for $30, period.
Holy!
With 4G LTE data included.
We love LTE data.
On the nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Now, let's take some selfies.
Switch to Metro PCS for nationwide 4G LTE, $30, period, plus a free 4G LTE phone after instant rebate.
Now, let's get a picture of your free phone taking a picture of my free phone.
For outdoor projects large or small, avoiding buried utility lines is more than food for thought.
What happened?
Know what's below. You or your contractor should always call 811 before you dig. Utilities will mark your lines for free. Brought to you by Tico Peoples Gas.
You love movies. Join the club and the movies will love you back. The Regal Crown Club. With every visit, you earn credits toward free movies, popcorn, and soft drinks. Plus, with a valid email, you'll get money-saving offers and special invitations to exclusive events. Grab a card at the box office, activate it at regmovies.com, or visit our Regal Movies mobile app. Then earn rewards with a swipe or scan of your card right from your phone. So share the love. Join the club, the Regal Crown Club.
The South Florida High School Football Show's Coaches segment is sponsored by Adidas. Stay up to speed with the fastest brand in football on Twitter and Instagram by following @AdidasFBallUS.
Welcome back to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. as we come to you from the Regal Group Theaters in Plantation, where we are more than just a movie. All right, let's talk about our Coach of the Week. We'll go into Broward County. Mike Morrill at Cardinal Gibbons has been there for 17 years, and a lot of these high school coaches are very dedicated. Mike is one of them. Some of them move around. Fortunately for Cardinal Gibbons and Coach Morrill, he's been able to stay in one place for a long time.
And I'm sure the school appreciates that and the community, but also what he's been able to do is he's been able to build a great support staff. Congratulations on being Coach of the Week, but more importantly, congratulations on your longevity and all the good things you've done at that high school.
All right, Mike Morrill, our Coach of the Week, is standing by with our Wesley Carroll.
Thank you, Joe and Don. I'm here with our Adidas High School Coach of the Week, Mike Morrill of the Cardinal Gibbons Chiefs. Coach, you've been at this a while. How was the off-season preparation?
It was a good summer. Guys worked hard. We had some holes to fill, and hopefully the guys will perform.
New faces, different places. How do you adapt each and every year with new quarterbacks, new running backs, new DBs? I mean, what's the secret?
No secret. You just have to coach the kids you have and coach them every day and coach them hard, and that's it.
Tough conditions this year in South Florida, especially in the summer, and how do you teach the kids ball control? What are the paths, what are the ways to make sure that you don't turn the ball over and give yourselves opportunities each and every game?
Well, easier said than done. You can focus on it, you can stress it, you can practice it, but when you get a night like tonight where it's going to be very sloppy, there are going to be turnovers. That's just the way it goes.
Absolutely. Once again, that was our Adidas High School Coach of the Week. Joe and Don, back to you.
All right, Wes, thank you very much. Mike Morrill is in a very tough district, as we mentioned before. Cardinal Gibbons is in there with Jackson and American Heritage and Coconut Creek, so that's going to be a dogfight right to the finish. When we come back, you don't want to miss our last segment as we go around the great counties of Dade and Broward and talk about as many teams as possible. That's coming up next right here on the South Florida High School Football Show.
Remember, South Florida high school football fans, you can stay in the know with the latest news and updates by following us on social media. Follow us on Twitter at HSFBall, Instagram at SFHSFS, and be sure to like us on Facebook at South Florida High School Football. Time now for the U.S. Army All-American nominees. Devin Bush of Flanagan High School. Devin is 6 foot tall and weighs 220 pounds. Bush is a 4-star recruit who has left strong impressions on many scouts. Bush has received an abundance of 42 school offers to play at the collegiate level. Devin is coached by his father. His father played for Florida State University. Deontay Mullins of Gulliver Prep. Deontay is 5'10.5" and weighs 179 pounds. Mullins is a coveted 4-star wide receiver recruit with a vertical testing result of 31.9. He has excellent ball handling skills and is ranked number 10 in the class of 2016, according to the 247 Sports Composite Rankings.
Bro, just watch what I do.
This the game that chose us. Pioneers started on 24. Bet he don't do it. Lining up the block.
See that, Jimmy?
Masterpiece. Rush that new speed.
The following are real customer testimonials.
I'm Davinia from Pembroke Pines, and I buy my Cadillacs at Vera, and I get the best prices with no hassles. I love Vera.
We are Dawn and Scott from Davie. We bought our GMC Sierra from Vera. It was the most fun we've had buying a car, and it was the best price in South Florida.
Experience the Vera difference at Vera Cadillac Buick GMC Pembroke Pines. Vera is 4 miles north of Sun Life Stadium.
Closed caption sponsored by Regal Cinemas, where we are more than just a movie.
We're back now on the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at the movies. We're at the Regal Entertainment Group Theaters in Plantation. We've got a lot of big games coming up this weekend, Don Bailey, and beginning with Booker T and Central. That's going to be our broadcast game. Mike Levine and Wes Carroll will have that one for you. Booker T and Central should be quite a matchup.
It really should, Joe. You're looking for Booker T to try and get back on track. They've got to get that momentum going that they've had for the last 3 years. Central suffered a loss early in the season. Got to make sure that where they are, and both of these teams have won for many, many years, and they're expected to win.
Here we go around the counties, both in Miami-Dade and Broward. American is going to be at North Miami, so this one will be a tough one all the way to the finish.
It absolutely will. North Miami had a good couple years. They're going to be challenged pretty good by American, though.
Carroll City off to a good start. They're home against Southridge.
I like this ball game. This is an old school matchup. Both of these teams used to be standards in the playoffs. Be interesting to see how Carroll City holds up against the Ridge.
This would be a great place to be. Northwestern is going down south to take on South Dade.
Yeah, this is the old version of North versus South. Northwestern Bulls, they are the ones that should be favored in this ball game.
Gulliver's got a lot of talent. They're at home against Westminster.
It's a tough game, Joe, but I'm going to take the home team. Take the home team when in doubt.
How about this one? This is a very interesting game. Mike Rump is taking his team into Miami-Dade County. American Heritage is at Norland.
Well, Norland's playing some of the best defense in the state right now, so it's going to be very difficult for Mike Rump. But Joe, Mike Rump, former Hurricane, I got to go that direction.
St. Thomas has been ranked number 2 in the nation, but they better not be asleep on this one. They got to go to Hollandale. Hollandale has a rising team.
They are rising, but I'm going with St. Thomas, and I think they're in the hunt for that mythical national championship.
Boyd Anderson is at home against Ely.
Tough game as well. I'm going to let you pick that one.
Okay, I'll go with Boyd Anderson in that one. Cooper City on the road. They're going to take on Douglas. How about this one? This is an old-fashioned game. Chaminade against Pace. They used to play this one on Thanksgiving Day. Pace will be at Chaminade. I'm going with Chaminade.
All right, so then we'll make it easy. I'll go with Pace.
And then out west in Broward County, Western is going to take on Flanagan.
We'll just, I'll go with Western.
Oh, Flanagan plays great defense.
I know.
Miramar is home against South Plantation.
Well, we got to go Miramar.
Braddock is going to take on Edison. That's going to be at Curtis Park. At Tropical Park, Varela will play host to Killian.
Killian.
That was quick, short and sweet. Belen, as we mentioned earlier, they're going to be at Columbus. This should be quite a matchup.
Yeah, Joe, this is one that we should probably think about going to. It's going to be a great one. We're going to go, I'll let you pick it.
Columbus. And finally, Coral Park will be home against Homestead.
I'm going to go with Coral Park, the home team.
All right. All right, that's a very good look at some of the big games coming up next week in Miami-Dade and Broward County. And you can send your emails to Don. For Don Bailey Jr., I'm Joe Zagacki. We'll see you next week right here on the South Florida High School Football Show.
The South Florida High School Football Show has been sponsored by the Miami Dolphins, Metro PCS, U.S. Army, Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, Tico Peoples Gas, Adidas, and Regal Cinemas.
Listen, I ain't got much to say. I don't have any inspiring words for you right now. Fire out, stay low, know your assignments. There's nothing else to do. We have no respect for you. Nobody respects you out here. Nobody respects you. We're 2-0 against who? Against who? Who to beat?
That's it.
Who else? Who else? Who's that? Nobody. So that means nothing. This means nothing. Okay? Let people know who you are. There's no respect for you right now in Miami-Dade County. Okay? Fire out. Come out with something to prove. Every single time. Every single play. Know your assignment. Stay low. Fire out. Get your steps right. Stay smart.